I just thought that it had to be that way. I never knew that we could have worked with someone out of court. And again, since we really didn't have much property, we didn't have really much. We got married at 24. I just didn't know.
Right.
I just didn't know. And also, I didn't know that sometimes just how I was playing chess when I was writing those appellate briefs. My first attorney was playing chess with me. You know, we're gonna ask for this, so then he'll give that, and we're gonna ask for this and that. And so then his side is fighting back. And again, we're just like, wait, whoa.
Welcome to Divorce Diaries, where attorney Cary Jacobson brings you real stories, hard truths, and practical advice on navigating divorce and family law. Whether you're going through it, considering it, or just curious, this is your place for clarity, confidence, and resilience.
Welcome back to Divorce Diaries, Lessons from the Trenches, the podcast where we explore real stories, insights, and tools for navigating divorce with clarity and compassion. I'm your host, Cary Jacobson, attorney, mediator, and advocate for out-of-court resolutions. And today's episode is for anyone who is tired of the war stories and really ready to hear from a different kind of narrative. One centered around peace, dignity, and true transformation. I am so honored to have Azizah Ahmad to the podcast. Azizah is a graduate of Howard University School of Law with a strong background in education, advocacy, and conflict resolution. But more importantly, she is someone who has lived this story herself. After an enduring 4 devastating years in family court during her own divorce, Azizah made a powerful decision to shift away from litigation and move towards peaceful mediation. She now helps others navigate divorce with dignity, offering legal insight grounded in emotional intelligence and personal experience. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. Let me just get my screen together. It's my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, sir. What a nice opening, too.
Absolutely. So I know I kind of gave a snippet of your personal journey, but can you share with our listeners a little bit about your personal journey, how you went from litigation and what type of law you were litigating, and now what you're doing?
Sure. So I graduated from Howard Law as a wife and a mother. I graduated actually pregnant with my first son. And I knew that I wanted to primarily focus on just motherhood for the first couple years before entering into the field. But I was fortunate to land on a really wonderful job where I wrote appellate briefs for a family law attorney. And it was kind of like chess. These weren't my people. These weren't my children. These weren't my lives. So it was kind of like chess. I enjoyed it, but I didn't have a personal connection to it. It was like a job for me. I gave it my best, but it wasn't until it was my turn that I really realized like how aggressive the system is, how devastating it could be to families, and how it doesn't promote peaceful resolution. Right. And I entered into the California courts with my divorce after a 10-year, long-term marriage. And I thought, okay, we don't have much. We got married pretty young, but the biggest valuable thing we had was some children. We'd already sold our home. I thought I'd be in and out. Unfortunately, I chose an attorney who wanted to be very aggressive. He asked for full custody, which shook my ex-husband and made him come back for me stronger. And he hired a law firm. So I have my lawyer, he has his law firm, and we're in court and we're battling. And I don't even understand why. But there's the first trial, then there's a continuance, then there's a next trial, then there's a continuance, then there's like 5 minutes of mediation with a mediator that literally spends maybe 15 minutes hearing my story and makes judge recommendations not based on the continued story or the full reality or the full picture. And literally I spent 4 years of my life worrying about being served and just stressed out, and it affected how I was able to parent my children. It affected my sleep. It affected like my career. And in the end, we were in family court. Our children were in the family court daycare. great feeling to have your children in family court daycare while you're in court. And I looked around and I said, the bailiff's getting paid, the judge is getting paid, the stenographer is getting paid, everyone's getting paid but us. And we're the ones that have these 3 children that we have to take care of. And I just decided, I said, if I could get through this in one piece, I want to focus on helping others not have to go through this. And fortunately, I did. And my ex-husband and I, we finally walked away from family court. And we ended up making an agreement on our own with a mediator outside of court. And we've been fine ever since.
Right.
We've been fine ever since. We spent 4 years literally battling and paying everybody. And in the end, we were able to use our common sense and our shared love for our children to walk away, create a marital settlement agreement, give the judge what we wanted to have for our family, and move forward peacefully and gracefully. And I'm so grateful. And I have devoted my life in helping others not have to go through this. So are there any more questions? Or I don't want to just yeah.
Well, no, I love, I'm very sorry that you had to experience that, because, as an attorney, that's what I saw on a regular basis. And, in the family court system, that how terrible the litigation process was. And I too recognize that there had to be a better way. I think part of the challenge, and this was going to be part of my question, part of the challenge is people not knowing that there is an alternative option as far as a process to begin with. So what I'm curious for you is, did you have any idea, even as an attorney yourself, that you didn't necessarily have to start with the litigation process first, and that you had alternative options to start?
No, I thought I had to get an attorney.
Right.
I had to find someone to serve him, kind of was not in the best place. So I was like, who's going to serve him? And I just thought that it had to be that way. I never knew that we could have worked with someone out of court. And again, since we really didn't have much property, we didn't have really much. I got married at 24. I just didn't know. I just didn't know. And also, I didn't know that sometimes just how I was playing chess when I was writing those appellate briefs, my first attorney was playing chess with me. We're going to ask for this, so then he'll give that, and we're going to ask for this and that. And so then his side is fighting back. And again, we're just like, wait, whoa, okay, I guess, wait. So no, I didn't know that. And I think a lot of people don't. So yeah.
100% agree. And if someone who's in the field, right, who you at least were tangentially connected to the family law world, if you didn't know, then why would we expect other people to know that there are alternative options?
Exactly.
And so, that's really one of the reasons I want to do this podcast, that one of the reasons I do what we do, which is try to educate people as much as possible that you don't have to start there. Because just as you described, oftentimes it's the other people in the process that are driving it. And it's not the people who are, the participants. It wasn't you, it wasn't your husband making those decisions to do this. It was your attorneys.
Exactly. It was not us. We were not the ones in the driver's seat, though it was our lives and the lives of our children that were being affected. And that's never a good place to be. You never want to give up that much of your power and your autonomy to someone else that again sees you more as a chess piece than a human being. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that you were in family court, but you ended up settling in mediation. How did that work? Did the judge make a final determination and then you guys changed it, or did you kind of stop the process before it got that far?
We kind of just stopped the process. It was really that day when we put the kids in court daycare and we were walking out and paying our expensive, everything was expensive. Like even the parking lot was expensive. And we both were like, we're not doing this anymore.
Right.
And it wasn't really a real, organized agreement, but we just decided we're not going back. And from there, we were able to find mediators, and also just, as a law graduate, a lot of my peers supported me once they found out what was going on. And from there, we were able to see like, okay, we do have more autonomy than we thought. We can tell the judge what we want for our family and be done with this. Right. And that's what we've done over the past, few years. We've been able to stay out of court with all of our issues, and it's just been a much happier life. But it really was more so like I guess I'd say aha moment, just like we're just not we're not coming back here. We're not paying for parking fees. We're not putting our kids in daycare. We're just not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me now how now you help others stay out of that same situation.
Well, I joined a powerful network of mediators and attorneys called Divorce with Dignity. And actually, my practice is out of Maryland and the Montgomery County and Howard County areas. It's an area I love dearly. It's where I first started my legal career. So I wanted to kind of start there. And what I do is give couples the option to mediate. I do document preparation. I guess my spiel is like, I don't want you to step foot in court. Work with me. I'm trained, I'm skilled, I have several certifications in mediation. I've been practicing for, over, I graduated in 2007.
It goes by fast.
Myself, I said, let me help you. I have all the same software that the judges have. I can help you divide your assets. I can help with the retirement. All the things that the judges can do, I can do on my own. And it could be a personalized process with someone that actually cares. Like I only take on clients that I know that I can support. It's a niche practice, so I don't have to, sometimes it's not a good fit, and that's okay. I could refer out, but when it is a good fit, I'm able to just give my all and helping it get from A to B. And I see that when this happens, it not only makes the process easier, it makes moving forward easier.
Right.
And that's what I think I'm most passionate about. Is like, okay, now as you all move forward, as a family that looks different now, because families come in different shapes and sizes, it could be amicably, it could be with the dignity that you deserve versus feeling like you survived World War III and just, so that's, I guess, what I love the most is that I'm able to help people go from a place of maybe anger, confusion, to a place of empowerment. You really do feel more empowered when you are the one writing and choosing and developing your script for life moving forward. So I kind of call myself a divorce doula.
That's a good word. Yeah.
You into the next phase of your life. And I really enjoy the work. I'm really happy. I hate how it had to come about, but I'm very happy to be doing the work with Divorce with Dignity actually too, because it's so many attorneys that if I do have a question, we're a network. So I practice on my own, but I have a whole network of other attorneys that I can ask questions to, or, hey, how do you do this? Or who do you use for your quadro? Or when you do this? And it's just been wonderful. It's just been a wonderful opportunity and a wonderful fit for me.
That's wonderful. Who are your ideal clients? Who are the ones that are a good fit for mediation and trying to resolve their issues amicably?
My ideal client are people that understand mostly. Well, my biggest, sticking point is they understand that this is going to be a less costly situation. So those that want to keep their costs down. To, of course, those that are willing to work together and understand that things, it's sometimes it's prickly like a cactus. Sometimes we have to go through the layers and things like that. Everyone doesn't have to be best of friends, but they recognize that working with a mediator is still a better concept than going in front of a judge. Right. So one that they understand that they're going to save money, two, they're open and willing to work together towards a resolution. A lot of times when children are involved, that seems to be a big reason why people choose me is they want to make the best choices for their children and make the best schedules for their children. And also just, just someone that's willing to trust my skill set and be willing to work with me and just give their all. So Yeah, so cost effective, willing to work together. Again, a lot of times with the children as a big sticking point. As my own child. We keep it real, we keep it real out here. So those are most of the things though too. So yeah, couples that want to keep their costs down, keep their all of their negativity and all of the conflict down, and want to oftentimes, I do work with couples without children also, but a lot of times too, children and being the ones making the biggest decisions is a big sticking point also.
Yeah, I find that as well. People who want to have that healthy co-parenting relationship post-divorce.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a great way to put it. Exactly.
Yep. What do you find to be some of the most common misconceptions about either mediation or amicable divorce in general?
A lot of times my clients are afraid that he or she who barks the loudest will be hurt the most. A lot of times they're concerned that the advocacy might not be fair due to one maybe being a little bit more charismatic or getting a little louder. And the thing is, like, I listen for what's unsaid sometimes. Like when you're trained as a mediator, there's several different routes that you can go. And I'm able to have breakout spaces and things, and I'm able to hear both voices. So I guess the biggest concern is, will my voice be heard? Will my voice be heard? And I really try to explain that, yes, I will hear both of your voices. That's my goal. That's my job, and that's what I want to do. So that too, bias. Will I be biased towards one side? Also, is this really going to hold in court? Am I going to end up in court anyway? Okay. Also, is this binding? Family law, as we always know, is very flexible. It's binding until you don't want it to be anymore. And that's one thing that I'm explaining. Like, if we need to come back in 2 or 3 years and change something about a custody agreement, we can do that. But right now, let's make a solid agreement and have it filed. So a lot of times people are worried that they might create an agreement now that doesn't suit them later in life, later down the line.
Right.
So that's also an issue that I see sometimes. And I hope most times I'm able to, hopefully make them feel more comfortable about those issues.
Right. Yeah. How do you help people who may be moving from, are more on the high conflict side, but through the mediation process, how do you help them become more resolution based?
I find the best thing I can do is make people feel empowered. And this is your story. This is your life. These are the agreements that you're making moving forward. And that's what I find the best. And that might sound almost overly simplified though, but really it is really just explaining that you can either give your power to someone else, and they might fight really hard, but no one knows you and your situation and your family like you do. So the best person to create these agreements and to resolve these solutions, to resolve these conflicting areas are you. And if it takes a little time, it takes a little time. Of course, no one wants to be mediating for forever, just like I didn't like being in the court for 4 years though too. But if we need to take a little break and let things calm down, that's okay. That's okay. Like I'm here for you. And if we need, again, there are times I'm like, okay, let's meet again next week. Let's do this is a good place to stop right here. So it really is also, I guess, just measuring the temperature and just really just feeling the room. It's so many innate traits I feel that come out that I'm able to use. So that's kind of how I do with high conflict situations. And quite honestly, sometimes, most times I'm able to work through it, but there are times I'm like, okay, let's refer you out. I appreciate you both coming and working your hardest, but maybe this isn't the best situation for you. And fortunately, that's not often, but that's the good thing about it. If that is the truth, that's the truth, and I can just do that.
What's one thing that you wish people knew before they stepped into the divorce process?
It's a very good question. Even when both parties are in agreement that this is the best step moving forward, it's still a process that's going to include emotions, sometimes high emotions. It's still a process, even when both parties do agree to work together, there might be some animosity of how they got there or where they're going. And so just really understanding that no matter, it's never going to just be about filing a paper or filing a document. This is a very human experience. And as big as AI is becoming, and I can do it on my own, there's a human aspect of divorce that you can never go around. And I think that's why it's so important to work with someone that understands that and that wants to help you move forward with that.
100% agree. Well, thank you for that. So, Azizah, thank you for being here and for being such a powerful example of what it takes, what it means to rise from the personal pain and to create meaningful change for others. I love that, even though it came out of a negative place, that you are helping others from having to go through that same experience.
Oh, thank you, Cary, so much for having me on. And I admire the work that you do. And just thank you so much. Maybe move forward at helping families resolve their conflicts and get to the other side, with grace and dignity.
Absolutely. How can our listeners find more about you and your services?
I am Azizah Ahmad, Esquire. I am located at DW Dignity, dwdignity.com. There are a list of different practitioners. And if you go to Maryland, press Maryland, I am there with my full profile. And I'd love to help you. And if not, one of my fellow practitioners would love to help you. So dwdignity.com. I'm Azizah Ahmad, Esquire on there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And for our listeners, please be sure to follow Divorce Diaries Lessons from the Trenches for more empowering conversations just like this one. Until next time, take care, and we look forward to seeing you.
Take care.
Thanks for joining us today on this episode of Divorce Diaries. Remember, every journey is unique, but you don't have to navigate it alone. Visit jacobsonfamilylaw.com or call 443-726-4912 for support and guidance.